and you're going to start the leg. Just got to feel the inguinal crease. We know that it's a 3-step process. You've done it a few times, so the first part of the leg should be no issue at all. Now, Julia mentioned that it seemed like a lot of steps for the leg, and the reality is it is a lot of steps, but what you need to do is in your head break down the leg into 4 distinct sections. Because if you break it down mentally, it'll be a lot easier. Sorry?
Kind of like the arm.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier to remember if you think, right, I've got 3 moves here, I've got 3 moves here, I've got 2 moves here, and the foot. Pretty simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the right leg because there's a bit of swelling around the knee.
Left.
Oh, left leg.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
even better. All right, we're going to work on the left leg because there's a bit of swelling around the knee, and we're going to see how we go. All right. So you've already had your abdominals cleared and your inguinals, so that's potentially already going to be pulling some fluid off this neck. Was there any pathology that led to this?
It looks like it's just chronic like wear and tear and it's arthritis, and there's a torn needle, and it's just that it's not quite arthritis.
Okay. Have you ever heard of McKenzie technique?
Something like, yes, but I don't know what it is.
So email me about it because
Okay.
my hubby needed an operation and McKenzie technique completely changed picture. No op anymore. It's awesome and it's so simple to do. There's one of my friends in Melbourne does it, but anyway, email me and I'll tell you about it. All right. So we're going to uncover the leg. You guys have all seen this before. You know how this goes. We're going to do our regular clearing of the inguinal crease. So just to expedite the process, because I want to get you guys practicing, I'm just going to do 1 pass, but normally we would be doing 4. Flat fingers over the crease, full pressure stationary circles. And 1 more. You'll get 3 or 4 positions on most people. Second move, femoral triangle, stationary circles with 0 pressure. Third move, fossa ovalis, which is easier to find on some people than others. Full pressure stationary circles. Now, 8, 10. For the leg, we've got 4 surfaces that we're going to be treating. Anterior, medial, posterior and lateral. That's only 4 moves. 4 surfaces, 4 moves. The first move, super easy. I think the notes say combination stroke. Do the notes say combination or double-handed?
Combination.
All right, let me show you guys combination. You've seen it already. I showed you a little demo of it before. So it's a stationary circle with 0 pressure, followed by pump. Circle, pump. Circle, pump. Circle, pump. This move is all about bending the opposite knee to the hand that you're working with. So if I bend this knee, I'm easy to make a circle. If I bend the other knee, I'm easy to make a pump. Now, those of you that think I don't want to do this, because that's what that's like, double-handed pump. Place one hand, place the thenar eminence of one hand against the thumb of the other. Just pump. Stay flat, stay behind it instead of on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the top. 1, 2, end of stretch. 3, end of stretch. 4. 2 more passes. 1, 2, 3. Now, the thing about this is, unless you bend the knee, it's easy to get too much pressure from the top. You just got to keep low so that you can stay behind. So feel the end of stretch there. Alright, so that's 4 passes. So again, combination stroke, circle, pump, circle, pump, circle, pump. This part of my hand never comes into contact. I want to be stationary circle with my 0 pressure at that point. Or you can do a combination of both. Do a couple of stationary circles with combination stroke, do a couple of pump grip. what you need to remember is, you know what the physiology, you've got to lift the anchoring filaments that are binding this piece of skin to the fascia to allow the fluid room to move, because these are switched on and ready to receive fluid. Second move. Take the knee. Are you all right to bend the knee a little bit? So what we're going to do, we place one hand under the ankle, one hand on the inside medial area of the knee, and we move the leg into what's known as Taylor's position. Just bend the knee, check the midline towel, tuck in. We're going to be treating the adductors. Two ways to do it. Combination stroke, circle, up, circle, up, or double-handed pump grip. It's really easy to work the leg because it's just large surface areas where you know that you've just got to pump the fluid in certain areas straight towards the inguinals.
So if they had a really tight hip, you just chuck some pillows underneath that.
Absolutely. You just build up to the client's comfort. That's why I asked if it was all right to bend the knee. Is that comfortable for you? All right. So we've got double-handed pump grip to the anterior, double-handed pump grip or combination stroke to the adductors. Now, to work the hammies, the whole hammies can be worked from the supine position, because the watershed for the hammies doesn't lie central, it lies lateral. So as long as you can reach under and do pump grip, single-handed pump grip to the posterior portion of the thigh, or the hammies, you're going to move fluid. Because what happens, as you pump grip, the drainage pattern for the back of the leg, the inner thigh wraps around and straight up into the inguinal crease. So all you've got to do is direct the posterior portion with some pump grip. See how I'm just keeping my hand flat and I'm just doing what I can in there to access the skin. I'm not dragging when I slide back. And pump 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also elevate the leg a little bit so that you've got more reach under there if you need to. So far so good. We've got double-handed pump or combo to the anterior, double-handed pump or combo to the adductors, single-handed pump grip to the medial hamstrings, and now the fun one. Take the leg out of Taylor's position, go down on your knees, grab this part of the hands, the heel of the hand, place it against the table, and just like you rolled for the traps, roll the lateral leg into the anterior drainage pathway. Take the hands, roll. This takes a load off the legs as well. So this is just it's called a wave grip in the notes. It's just like a wave. All you're doing is the same thing as rolling over the traps. Because we know that this portion of the leg drains anteriorly, we just want to push it into the drainage area because this is switched on already. The other way that you can do this is like this. Cross the side of the table, place the fingertips down, and roll. Nice and steady. Double-handed, 4 passes. At this point, that's the upper leg done. Nice and easy. 4 moves, 4 surfaces. Moving on to the knee. The thing about people's knees is every single knee is a different shape. If you go in with a stiff, hard hand, you're never going to be able to move forward in the knee. You've got to have soft hands. So, place the hand down, and all we're going to do is pump grip the kneecap right down to the patellar insertion. So we go. 1, 2. Very soft here, people, because this is where the fluid sits. 3 passes more. 1. Everything's 4 passes. In this case, because Margaret's got some fluid deposits here, I'm going to use both hands. And I'm going to cover the whole kneecap. So 1, 2, and you stretch. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do a single-handed pump. You've got to be light, light, light. Or you can do a double-handed pump over the knee. Now, the next move is a bilateral move, both hands. It's exactly the same idea as what you were doing at the throat. You were making tiny stationary circles with openings to the supraclavicular. What I want to do with each side, the medial and lateral sides of the knee, take the fingertips and 1, 2, 3, 4. Stationary circles, fingertip stationary circles, with the opening straight towards the inguinal nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You can feel fluid as well in this area, which is why I'm going super light. Because pushing it's just going to push it under the surface of the capillaries. One more pass. 2, 3, 4. Final move. Slide the hand underneath the popliteal nodes. With a towel, with a towel, it's a little bit harder to push down, right? With a regular bolster, take my fist, I lean on the bolster, I create space, and I just slide my whole hand under, exactly like you did at the cubital, to the popliteal. Make sure that you don't flex the wrist, so you just lean straight down, and 1, 2. It's exactly the same as I did to the cubital nodes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 pressure stationary circles. Job done. Knee finished. Easy so far? Pump grip, anterior thigh. Pump grip, medial thigh. Interchangeable with combination stroke. Pump grip, hammies. Wave, lateral. Come down to the knee. Pump grip the knee. Stationary circles with 0 pressure to the lateral and medial. Full pressure stationary circles to the popliteal nodes. So we've completed the opening and 2 sections of the leg. The rest of the leg is super easy because all you've got to do, and it doesn't matter which one of these you do first or second because they're separated by that long watershed from the Achilles. Double-handed pump grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. What you can do, you can also lift the leg, sit on the toes and do single-handed pump grips if you feel like that's indicated. But because there's a pathology here with the knee, I wouldn't be lifting the leg and bending it and all the rest of it. And because I can actually get right underneath, so it's easy for me to do pump grip for the whole leg. And I'm also getting the anterior pump grip that's in the notes in with the lateral and the medial. So here, if you want to do the anterior pump grip, you can. Single-handed pump. Eventually, you might want to pivot. Gives it a bit more flow. Because that pivot point is my pump. But for now, pump grip. Single-handed, double-handed, it's up to you. If it's a finer sort of anterior that you're looking at, single-handed's fine. And then you move from single-handed to double-handed. You can put your thumbs on the front to cover that as well. Feel that stretch in there when I lift. All right, and then we come down after we've done 4 passes. Have you got some bruising, or is this
bangs, Venus
Okay.
bangs.
Yep.
Too long, 2 years massage.
Can I grab a chair? Can I grab that chair, Will?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's all right. No. I just need a chair for. I'll show you guys. You finally get to sit down in your routine. So, if you're so inclined, sorry about your focus. Take a seat. Now we've got the foot. We've dealt with the upper leg, the knee, and the lower leg. Most of all, it's just pump grip. Basically, it's pump grip, the whole thing, except for that wave grip on the side and those fingertip stationary circles to the side of the neck. Come down to the foot. What do we got? Lateral and medial malleoli. We've got the dorsal surface and we've got the plantar surface. The one thing that you need to know about the foot and the instep is actually a watershed. Everything on the inside of the instep wraps that way. Everything else on the foot wraps laterally. So basically, the instep splits the foot into two separate flow zones. Easy to clear that because you can just use this to work the base of the foot. But let's do the ankle first. Fingertip stationary circles for all aspects of the lateral and medial malleoli. Work all the way down. They're open stationary circles because I know that the flow is going straight up to the inguinal crease. So see how I'm going to do 4 passes here. I'm probably going to get about 6 or 7 positions on Margaret's ankles or her malleoli. I'm just keeping those circles open and I'm moving my upper body to make the circle work. Then I come around to the anterior, I line up all my fingers and I do the same again. And I work my way all the way down the dorsal aspect of the foot. Easy. That's the way to clear, is to just do these tiny stationary circles with 0 pressure all down the anterior surface. 4 passes. So I've basically done the lateral and the medial. Now I'm doing the anterior. 1 more pass. Foot done. It's all stationary circles with 0 pressure. Now, the toes are a bit of a different deal. With the hand, we treated this surface, which is the palmar surface. With the toes, we don't actually treat the plantar surface, we treat the dorsal surface. We know that the dorsal surface on the hands, the fluid goes that way. It's exactly the same thing with the toes. Yeah? So we treat the anterior surface of the foot. And then, with each toe, each interphalangeal, we make tiny stationary circles with our thumbs, opening straight towards the inguinal crease. If you're treating arthritis in the toes, or any other type of swelling or inflammation, you can do the same thing we did with the fingers and sweep up and over because the passage for fluid is the same, up, over from the plantar to the dorsal and straight down. You can also do, if you can get in there, little bites on the side of each toe because it'll help to drain the toes. Exactly the same as the little bites we did on the fingers. Some people you can't get in there, other people crack up laughing, some people ticklish. Last 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, this is how you work the base of the foot. There's a few ways to do it. In the notes, it's take the opposite hand to the leg that you're working on, right? Bang, palm up. Take this webbing and rest the lateral surface of the foot in the webbing. And then all you do is this. It's exactly the same as the traps roll and the rolling of the fluid on the lateral leg, using the base of the thumb like a little roller. Yeah, so this is all in the wrist, right? So I'm letting my hand slide around, but I'm not dragging. But if you want to get like sort of easier about it, go like this, here, and go 1, 2, 3. I don't know any other MLD therapist that drains the bottom of the foot. As far as I know, I'm the only person who does it. But it seems to make sense. We're already here, and the other thing is, if you're going to see fluid anywhere in the body, right here on the instep.
Yeah, I've got a client who's got a 7-year-old ankle injury that just won't resolve. And she
Ankles are
gets
hard.
swelling, like a lump of swelling
Yeah.
right here, and it's painful and it's hard and
Yeah.
hurts.
This would really help.
So yeah,
And
she's
this
gonna
is,
get it. She just doesn't know yet.
and this is such a nice move to do. Does it feel nice? It's really beautiful, and this will work so well to clear fluid.
Can you just do the lower portion of the leg? Like, do you have to do opening or
Yeah, you
lower?
do. 'Cause yeah, otherwise what you'd be doing is pushing fluid into an area that hasn't actually got movement.
But would you do the lower abdomen?
No.
Abdominals?
I'd do abbreviated opening,
Okay.
followed by, if I had time, Cisterna Charlie. I wouldn't do anything else. You could even do it over the towel. I'd come straight down and I'd clear the inguinals, and then I'd do the leg routine. If I had an ankle thing, I'd do the whole leg routine, and then I'd go back and re-clear the inguinals. So start putting it together, guys. You know you've got to clear the nodes. You know where the fluid's got to go. You basically know how to get it there. Work out prescriptions of how you think the best way to get this fluid to there will be.
Yeah, because it's also like there's managing expectations for the client as well,
100%.
because they've got an expectation that comes. Like, she's been my client for 19 years or whatever, so it's like there's an expectation of what she wants to get out of the session. So it's like when I introduce new stuff, she's always like,
Miss out on the stuff I really want.
Yeah.
So it's
But this is
also-
beneficial, so hopefully you
Yeah.
can build it in.
Yeah.
I have a lady who, talked my head off for years, every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And one day,
She's a 10 on the program.
yeah, and I said to her, how she has scleroderma. So I said, how about we do lymphatic drainage fade? And she talks like she's getting out of the car, and I've already had 2 stories. She hasn't even opened the front door yet, right? It was flat out. I used to get exhausted thinking about it. She's a nice lady. Anyway, so I said she agrees to an MLD. She's got severe scleroderma all over her body, but particularly her peripheries. So it's a lack of circulation, particularly in the peripheries. And some people lose their toes and fingers from gangrene, from scleroderma. No, alcoholic. Which is that's what they believed has led to this. So I said to her, I think for microcirculation, this will actually be awesome. Anyway, she was so nervous. I said, but the rule is you can't talk. It'll work much better if you just don't talk. Because when clients talk on the table, what happens to their sympathetic nervous system? Bang. Parasympathetic's not going to take over when they go, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she gets on the table and she's buzzing like a crazy, she's just vibrating like one of those massage vibrators because she knows she's not allowed to talk. So she puts on the eye pillow, but she's still, yeah. We start the MLD. It's all quiet and nice. I'm not talking. She peels back the eye pillow and she says, are you sure I'm not allowed to talk? I said, Faye, this will work so much better if you just trust me. So 10 minutes in, no joke, and this is after years of talking through every hour, she's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to the end, she takes the eye pillow off and she's emotionally overwhelmed. And she says to me, you might have noticed I have trouble relaxing. I hadn't noticed that. Oh, really? She goes, that was the most profound massage experience I ever had. And it just gave her a whole other experience of what it is. And I think she feels that it really helped with her circulation issues as well. Because this is great for microcirculation because you're dealing with the subdermal. Yeah. And this foot one, is so good for people who get swelling in their feet, pregnancy, people who get heat swelling, people whose toes swell, just this. So it's soft and gentle, just roll through. Sorry? Yeah, it's like a butterfly. That's what my students are calling it, but I haven't written it up in the notes because to me, I still do this one. 1, 2, and then if you're getting really funky, you can do these ones together. And that's a nice one as well.
Potentially, like, so if you know you've got, so for example, this one, like, just got the ankle injury, better to do a general pass and then a slightly more specific pass. Like, to be able
So
to,
we
like,
said swelling medial.
yeah,
So it's a medial roll.
she.
Oh, it's a lateral roll. So
Yeah.
she gets swelling on the medial even though it was a
She gets
lateral roll.
here, but she ripped it. Like it was torn, like it was, and it was like a grade 4 tear basically.
So it's a
Nobody
very serious
MRI'd it for 12 months, so they didn't know. The doctor was like, you sprained your ankle, and like her ankle was like swollen and black and fine. And so she didn't actually have an MRI. Yeah. Oh, total negligence. Like I said to her, I was like, "Are you gonna see that doctor for like medical negligence? Because this has ruined your life. Basically, she can't leave the house. She can't. Like she can barely walk around."
Reconstruction.
Well, she's had 3
Stationary circles with 0 pressure on the lateral medial and anterior ankle. We've done our sweeps here. We've done our toes. One thing that you can do, which is also an interesting little reflexology trick. Take your fingers and sweep back between the toes. Assists with lymphatic circulation. 4 passes, and if you want to, and you were talking about it yesterday, that lymphatic chain over the top of the ankle as well, but you don't have to. So once we've done those things, and this whole routine takes about 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, come back, go back to the inguinal crease, full pressure stationary circles to clear it. I'm actually going to use my whole flat hand because we've got a time frame. So instead of doing fingertip stationary circles, I'm laying down the whole hand, full pressure stationary circles over the inguinal crease. You can feel the fluid movement that's come into there now and the puffiness. Have a go when you finish the leg, go back and see if you can feel the extra fluid in the area. Once you've re-cleared the inguinal crease, cover the leg and you're ready to move on to the other leg. Let's step through it. I'm not going to talk, you can turn it off now, it's alright, but you've got everyone.